Hi, welcome back. And I have a little visitor who's going to join me. This is my 2-year-old daughter, Ava. And we are working on our final detail glazing with our gloss glazing liquid at the moment. And I am blending in my gloss glazing liquid directly into the paint pigment. And I have my Cadmium Red Light, Hansa Yellow, Cobalt Blue, Titanium White, and Carbon Black. And it looks as though I'm making a gradient of like brownish colors by mixing all of my primary colors together. And they're a little yellowy because now I'm adding more red, but I'm trying to see what color her highlights in her hair are. And I noticed that they're a little bit like auburn, a little bit reddish. So I'm trying to add those to the top of the surface of the hair, including the yellows as well. And I know it looks a little bit strange at the moment, but because I didn't want to add white directly to her hair, her highlights aren't that bright, then what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of color to make it more realistic. And then later on, what I can do is after all those colors have been added in, I can apply one coat of glaze over it with the same color, like a darker or maybe even a black, to kind of blend everything together more. So I'm using my liner brush at the moment to add in thin hairs, and keep in mind that when you add your gloss glazing liquid to your paintbrush, you're going to want to have a lot of it on your paintbrush, so your liner brush will not like skid to a stop when you're working. If you need really fine hairs, you can also take some water and really like water down your paint, and it will make it transparent as well. But I would still recommend using the gloss glazing liquid. And once I have, like, don't touch it. At the moment I have, don't touch the microphone, sweetie. Okay. At the moment I have kind of thick bangs, and sometimes I do that on purpose and then kind of create a softer, close to her local color, skin tone color, and go in and kind of remove some of those. And because that pigment is so dark that when I try to remove it, it will kind of appear to be a shadow underneath her bangs. So that is a little bit of a trick that you can do. I'm going to see if I end up doing it. And at the moment, I think I'm trying to use my blender brush to really soften everything. And I think her eyelash or her eyebrows turned out really well, and all I did was create kind of a thinned out dark glaze from her eyebrows first, where the shadows would be underneath the eyebrow, and then went in with just a few lines of going down for her eyebrows and up with a thinned out brownish black I thinned it out with a lot of glaze. And I'm using my blender brush to add some shadows in around the neck. Using my liner brush to add in tiny fine hairs. That's like kind of like the last thing you want to do with your hair. Just add in those tiny details. And what I was just talking about, kind of going in with a local color, is what I'm doing at the moment with her eyebrows and her eyelashes. I'm kind of separating the eyelashes a little bit. Tiny Teddy. Thank you. Okay, and I would highly avoid going, like, I'm using a liner brush to get my darks in, but as you can tell, after I get my darks in, like around her mouth, I still use the blender brush to soften it, because you don't want at the very end to have dark like creases in the, like where you smile. And we're adding our final details, our highlights around the eyes. And I kind of like to use a liner brush and fake some like texture of the skin. So if you see some pores or anything, you can use a little bit of white with a lot of glazing gloss, and you can, oh, don't touch that one. And then you can kind of add in just a few details like some dots or lines or whatever. And it's not going to show a lot. If you used a lot of glazing liquid, it's not going to show that much. It's just going to pop just barely, like you're barely going to catch it unless you're really getting up close. But those are the details that really make it more realistic. Even with someone as like flawless skin as she has, adding just a few of those tiny details take it from looking more like a bubble to more like actual skin, you know? Okay, so here's what I was talking about. I'm going in with a thicker brush, and what am I doing? Let's see here. What brush am I using? Okay, as I was thinking. So I kind of created a nice color with my black and my red, and then I am glazing it down and kind of creating a broad color over the entire thing. And that will just blend in all those weird highlights that I had before. Remember the really yellowy brownish ones and then the red ones? They looked a little bit bizarre, but then when you go in after that, after it has dried, with a bigger brush and the same like darker value, all that will just be blended. It's almost like applying a glaze to your hair. Okay, so we are wrapping up, just cleaning off my palette. And the last and final thing that we have to do. Okay, so I'm adding a glazing clear gel, and it looked as though I did not let it dry, but I did for this one. I know that I let it dry for a long period of time because I didn't have any issues. You'll start to see in the next one, I made a lot of mistakes in that one because I wasn't patient enough. I didn't let my layers dry before I did things like that. So I did apply a clear leveling gel over that to kind of let everything blend nicely, and I think this one turned out really nicely. And even though the eyelashes are a little bit thick, if you look in the reference photo, they are thick like that as well, so it doesn't bother me that they're a little bit more dramatized than reality. Okay, that is it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye. Say bye-bye.